Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon, Rod's Root. So in the last episode, Lucette finally learned about her mother and that she's a witch, and then we finally learned more about the information about the relationship between her and the king. So it was forced upon, so I was right during Carmen's Root, because we didn't learn about that. I did like that they changed that. But also, obviously, Rod has feelings for Lucette, and it's getting a bit awkward for me. I'm just gonna say that right now. And, Delora and Parfait have discovered, Mythos, who we know is a witch. So, let's continue. Rod and I leave the Martian in silence. Here in the secret tunnels, we are suffocated under more silence, but still neither of us make an effort to speak. I am stuck inside my own mind, stifling through my troubled thoughts. I cannot reconcile the fact that the wicked witch who led the witches during the war was my mother. I did not even realize how many people hated my mother until after she passed away, and they spoke about how cruel the queen was. I never understood why, since she has always been the perfect person in my eyes. I never connected my mother with the Tenenbaum bearer, but what Parfait and Delora just told me makes sense. Was I living a lie all those years? A lie that my mother crafted so that I could remain cold and bitter, even after she passed away? Dude, that really sucks, honestly. And Delora and Parfait say I am meant to inherit the power of the Tenenbaum from my mother, but I do not want that burden. I almost bump into Rod's back when he suddenly stops walking. He turns around and looks at me with a serious expression. Cannot help but feel judged beneath the weight of the gaze. If you're going to tell me that you never wanted me as your partner because of my mother was a witch, then I wasn't gonna say that. What? I won't lie. The first time I saw you, I thought you were like your mother. You were cold, harsh, and selfish. I never wanted anything to do with you. That's why I was so against this partnership, but you've changed. Rod's expression softens. Oh shit, he's smiling for once. As you and Em have grown closer, I have seen that you are not like your mother. She speaks fondly of you, and I can tell that she really enjoys your company. That's why, even if I do not have plans to break my curse, I will still do what I can to help break yours. It's the least I can do as your partner. I stare at Rod in shock. This is the first time he has ever been so nice to me. Why are you staring at me like that? I'm only doing this because you're important to my sister. Oh, okay. Rod turns away, his face beet red. Liar! Rod reaches up to pinch his stubby face. Ow! Compliment him. Who would have thought that you were actually capable of being nice? What? Was that supposed to be a compliment? Yes, you're already so grumpy. I don't even think I'd seen a genuine smile on your face before. I can say the same for you. Birds of feather flock together then. Rod stares at me, dumbfounded. I cannot help but smile at his little expression. Do you really dislike the fact that we're so similar? Rod is still staring at me, wide-eyed. You just smiled. I did not! Oh, no! The flirting! Rod thinks your smile is pretty! Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, save me. Alright. I do not! You two really are the same. I take a deep breath to calm the erratic beating of my heart. Anyway, I still want to help you with your curse, Rod. Why do you refuse to break it? Rod stares down at his feet, expression melancholy. Because I cannot. Rod stops and shakes his head. He says nothing else, and I do not probe him anymore, especially not after seeing that distant look on his face. Why though? Like, I don't get it. Like, it has to do with something with Viorica, right? I assume so? We walk through the corridor and back to our rooms after we say our goodbyes. I wonder what Rod was going to say. Uh-oh. Mother, look! Eleanor got me this gift! Eleanor? She is my maid and my friend! Princesses do not make friends with their servants. But she's really nice. She even taught me how to braid my hair like... Those servants are only nice to you because you are the princess. They are only pretend to be friends with you so they can have the power over you. But Eleanor would never... What reason do I have to lie to you? When have I ever lied to you, little one? You have never lied to me. That is correct. Tomorrow I will remedy this situation and will hire a new maid. You are not to befriend this one, no matter what she says. But Mother! Are you arguing with me, Lucette? No, I'm sorry, Mother. Jesus Christ. No wonder she got the other maid fired too. Remember the prologue? Damn. It had been days since my friend Delora revealed my mother's true identity, and this inevitable responsibility I am to have on my shoulders once I turn 18. I have been trying to ask the king about mother, but he is even busier these days than he was before, and it is impossible to find a single moment in the day to speak with him. Would he actually tell Lucette about it? Like, I know he doesn't remember her, but I'm just wondering, seeing her as a maid, would she tell her about the queen? I don't know. The fact that I am a maid makes it even harder to garner his attention. When I'm not on break, I continue to do my duty serving Emmeline. Right now, I'm accompanying her as she practices her walk and posture. Ophelia has been helping her, pointing out any mistakes she finds. I know how hard this is, dear. I had to go through this training as well before I married the king. Emmeline allows her shoulders to slouch as she lets out an exasperated sigh. I've always hated those lessons. I had thought my posture was fine. This is supposed to refine it, and yet all these lessons I've been doing is hurting my back. Oh, Emmeline, you get the hang of it. You just need to keep practicing. But Mother, I've never had this lesson before. Why must I do it again? Because you slouch when you walk, and that's unbecoming of a princess. Emmeline scowls at her mother, and Ophelia frowns, falls away as she bursts into laughter. Mother, you're not helping! The atmosphere in the room is far from heavy as Emmeline and her mother continue to conduct their lessons. It is almost the exact opposite of lessons I had with my mother. Mother always got angry when I even made the smallest mistakes. I know this is hard, but as the crown princess, all eyes will be on you during the ball. The people there will judge any small mistake you make, which is why you need to be on top form on that night. I know. Ophelia claps her hands. Alright, now let's start again. Emmeline groans before heading back to the fort wall and straightening her back. She takes a deep breath, puts on the book on her hand, and begins to walk again. The book falls from her hand and on her third step. She sighs, moving back, and to start from the process again. Neither of us break Emmeline's concentration by speaking. We stand idly and watch as she tries time and time again. I am surprised when Ophelia leans towards me and begins to whisper. Lucette, I've been meaning to say this before, but I am grateful to you that you are friends with my daughter. Oh, that's nice. I looked at Ophelia's smiling face with a surprise. I never agreed to be her friend. You're not against the princess making friends with her servants? Why would I be? I actually wish more of the staff here wouldn't be so uptight, since I would love for Emmeline to be on good terms with the people who serve her. Besides, social status is never an obstacle to friendship. Ophelia shifts her gaze back to Emmeline, who is now picking up the book that has once again fallen from her head. No matter your occupation or status, a friend is always a friend. You've given Emmeline the courage she needs to face many challenges she has ahead of her. In a way, you're like family, since you're always around us. Like family. Come what may, both families and friends are there for you and will accept you for who you are. Even before it was cursed, Emmeline was always trying to be my friend. That means she knew all along who my mother was, and she still wanted to be my friend. The thought of me makes me remember what Parfait told me about my mother, threatening to kill Ophelia if the king did not marry her. I turned to Ophelia, curious. Your Majesty, may I ask you what you know about the late Queen's rule? Ophelia looks at me quizzically, so I quickly add the thoughtless lie. I was not in Angielle and had only heard stories. I just thought it was so hard to believe, with how peaceful things are in the palace right now. The kingdom was a dark place back then. People lived in fear under her rule. The king had no real power over Angielle. The witches had free reign over the kingdom. They cast the Fairytale Curse incessantly and on a whim. We barely left our houses in fear of becoming cursed. Mother's reign was that terrible? The king still blames himself for the darkness that befell Angielle during that time. This is why he worked day and night to stabilize our country and to put smiles on everyone's faces. I remember long ago how he told me off. One of the reasons he would always continue to work hard for this kingdom was because he wanted to make a brighter tomorrow for his children. Ophelia looks confused for a moment, then brushes off the awkwardness with a chuckled smile. Wait, what? Oh, wait. No, but I'm thinking maybe she slipped it out talking about his daughter, but she doesn't realize that she's cursed. Probably that's why. He helps the family in his own way. Is it possible that he said that with me in mind? And Ophelia's slip-up. But then, maybe he was always referring to Emmeline and Rod. The kingdom's come a long way since then, hasn't it? There are still witches here and there, but most of them don't bother others. I pray that the peace we are experiencing right now will last. I see. Thank you for telling me. It is a bit of a jury topic, but I'm happy to be of help. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to call on me. I know it may not be traditionally protocol for a queen, but then I do not consider myself a typical queen. I try my best to listen to everyone here regardless of what their title or name might be. I can only nod at her in response. Princess or maid, the way Ophelia has treated me has never changed. She has always treated me with kindness regardless of who I am. I never saw it before because I was always so distant from everyone, but now I see Ophelia treats everyone here with kindness regardless of their social status. I was always frustrated by the servants when they compared Ophelia to Mother, saying she was superior. But now, I think I understand why they would make such comparisons. Well, I like Ophelia. She kind of reminds me of, like, again, I bring up Game of Thrones, but she kind of reminds me of Daenerys, of like how kind of she treats everyone the same regardless of their social status. It's really nice. Emlyn dismisses me after my lessons, and I begin to head immediately back to my room. I've just turned the corner when I notice Sir Alcaster standing before me, scowling. Watch where you're going, child. Oh god. Quickly avert my gaze, not wanting a confrontation. He always looked at me so strangely, almost like he could see into my mind, or is trying to. My apologies, Sir Alcaster. Sir Alcaster nods his head at me stiffly before walking off. Your pardon, princess. Oh shit! He knows! I turn to stare at him, but he has already turned the corner. My blood becomes cold. Was that just the slip of the tongue? But how else could he know that I'm the princess? Is it possible that he's cursed? No, somehow that doesn't seem right. But if he does not have the Fairytale Curse, could he be the witch that Delora warned me about? What reason would he have for unveiling his identity then? Unless he just wants to intimidate me further. It occurs to me that Fritz still remembers who I am. Does he tell his father about me? Now that I'm even more confused on who I should trust. Lucette? I jump when I hear Rod call me. His expression slowly sees with something that looks like worry. You're pale. Did something happen? We're gonna fucking tell him. Would he believe me if I told him? Sir Alcaster knows that I'm the princess. Do you think he is the witch Delora is talking about? I whisper the words to him, but he responds by raising his eyebrows, looking surprised. What makes you say that? This isn't just because of the standoffish way he acts, is it? You don't believe me. Rod sighs. I never said I didn't. It's just that we can't just blindly accuse everyone without any real proof. He just called her princess, like what? Rod stares at me for a few moments, then closes his eyes, his eyebrows slightly furrowed with thought. Sir Fitzgerald also remembers who you are. I do not want to be suspicious of Fritz, but I don't think blindly trusting him would be right either, given the circumstances. You need to stay vigilant around him. If anything happens, you can come talk to me about it. We can come talk to you, but the man doesn't believe us. You're worried about me? Rod reverts his gaze from me. Of course I am. Oh, okay, he believes us. Okay, thank God. Wow, you're actually being honest. What? Rod stares at Sebby before pinching his cheek. Anyway, I must leave now. I have a dance to practice for. Dance? But you already know how to dance. What do you have left to practice? Rod doesn't answer only walks away. I decide to follow after him. Okay. Why did you follow me? I shrug. I wanted to see you practice. To be honest, I wanted to see him dance. I already know that Emlyn is very clumsy when it comes to dancing, but outside the one practice with Emlyn, I have never seen Rod dance. Emlyn always gloats on his behalf, but I have yet to witness Rod's supposed talent with my own eyes. Our dance together was short, but I barely had any time to judge him. I do not practice with an audience. Why? It is my preference. Rod is easily embarrassed. Rod groans and pinches one of Sebby's cheeks, glowering. Sorry! Rod reluctantly releases the bunny with a sigh. I noticed that you've been talking more lately, Sebby. Oh, that's because Rod here is saying things that contradict what he thinks or feels. Sebby makes a sound of defeat as Rod once again pinches one of his cheeks. Rod stares at me with wide eyes as I stare back, beginning to panic. What's wrong? You smiled again. I put my hand on my mouth, flushing. I was smiling again? I never noticed. It was a pretty smile, princess, right, Rod? Oh, God damn it! Rod quickly turns away, cheeks slightly pink. I need to practice now, so I would appreciate you leaving. You didn't even command me to leave. What a surprise. Emlyn said that you were a really good dancer. I want to see it with my own eyes. Why? So you can judge me? I'm not here to judge you. I'm sure that I am better than so. No, we're not here to judge. I'm not be a dick right now. Why else would you be so keen on watching me? I'm mostly curious. Curious? I wanted to know how good you really were. Then yes, you are judging me. I hold out my hand and he stares, looking taken aback. I shouldn't be scolded for being only curious. Why not just one little dance to prove how talented you are? Rod stares at me for a few minutes before reluctantly taking my hand. Fine, you better not step on my feet. Rod starts leading the dance. He glides us onto the imaginary rhythm of the waltz. Even without the music, I am able to count the steps in my head and follow in his lead. This is different from the last short dance we showed Emlyn. Rod's movements are graceful, his touch gentle as he leads me into an underarm twirl. Oh god. Oh no, oh god. When I come to face him once again, I notice that a gentle way he stares at me. The usual hardness of his expression is gone, melted into something relaxed. I find myself staring back at him, looking into his eyes. Perhaps Rod does have some gentleness to him. Our gazes in a break as he twirls me. I'm trying not to judge, but Jesus! You have beautiful eyes. Rod's eyes widen as soon as mine do. He abruptly lets go of my hand and steps back. I can only stare at him, my face warm. It wasn't me this time! That was more than just a thought, I swear! Rod says nothing, though his cheeks continue to darken with embarrassment. Oh my! Rod and I turn to look at Emlyn, who is hovering by the door. Excuse me. Rod quickly walks through the doorway out of the hallway, leaving Emlyn and I alone in the room. What just happened? That was a wonderful dance, Lucette! You were watching? I only saw the last few minutes, but, you know, the two of you really did look like a couple. It was sweet. Oh, yeah! Couple? Oh, you're blushing! I had a hand on my cheek to turn away with a scowl. I am not. Besides, whatever just happened was embarrassing. Do you like Rod? I stare at her. I do not. Also, you are forgetting that I'm a maid who cannot be with a prince even if I wanted to. He's grumpy and cold. And even though we are not blood related, he's still my stepbrother. Thank you! Thank you, fucking Lucette! I'm sorry. I know they're not blood related. It's just like this whole thing bothers me because they're still family. They're like related. Not like blood related, but they're family related. That's why it's so weird to me. And I know some people don't think it's weird, but in my opinion, it's fucking weird. This is fucking weird. Okay. If only Emlyn realized how crazy her words were in the light of the truth. Emlyn suddenly looks starry-eyed as she giggles at me. Love knows no boundaries, Lucette. Besides, he seems to like you. That's nice, but for me, I don't like it. That's all. For some people, that's fine, cool, whatever. That's your cup of tea, but for me, no. Your brother hates me. Rod can be contradicting sometimes. Sometimes he says the opposite of what he feels. It's only when you get to know him as well as I do that you realize what the truths are. I cannot help but think of Sebi, who always speaks Rod's thoughts out loud when they are contradictory. He was always so mean to Viorica when we were young. He would always bully her for being a crybaby, even though he cried far more often. But then I realized he treated her more special than he did anyone else. Back then, I knew that he liked her. I thought that one day the two of them might even grow to love each other, but Emma lets out a long sigh as she directs our attention out the window. His attitude towards her has changed ever since he was cursed. Then they grew even more distant when Viorica found a lover. Is that the reason why you have been going to the toy shop with Prince Rod? Because you want to bring them back together? Emlyn nods. The three of us were best friends, the three musketeers. It's not the same without Rod. I keep asking him what's wrong, but he refused to tell me. He's always been so stubborn, but it's not like him to keep secrets. He's really frustrating because I have no idea what I should do to help him. I always thought he was being stubborn with me, but apparently no amount of prodding, even from his own family, will make him budge. Why is he being so difficult? I hope you do not mind me asking. But what do you know about his curse? Emlyn stares at me for a few moments before nodding. You're my friend, Lucette, and I know that I confide in you. I know that sometimes I'm not trusting enough, but I think Emlyn is far too trusting. Yeah, I think so too. I know she's being, she's being kind and she has like the good intentions, but Emlyn trusts way too quickly to like people, you know what I mean? We only know that he has the mermaid's curse. I read this story so many times, hoping that I can figure out some way to break his curse. I think back and realized that I had actually read the beginning of The Little Mermaid a long ago, but I did not have a chance to finish it because I was caught by Mother. The Little Mermaid is about a mermaid who trades her voice for legs, right? Yes, she does, so she can be with her prince. Oh! Oh no! Did Rod like trade his voice so that he could be with Viorica? Is that what happened? Oh shit! Rod's voice was taken away, but I'm sure that he was giving something in exchange. I heard that the curses are derived from the original tales, but that they were twisted in some way to fit the format of the curse. I slowly nodded thoughtfully. Oh shit! Maybe he did give us something just so that— oh no. I have a strong feeling that Rod's curse is related to Viorica, but I cannot draw the connection. But still, Viorica might be the key to understanding his curse. If Rod will not divulge in anything, the next best chance we have is to understanding his curse might be going through Viorica. Oh shit, I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Chapter 7, be careful what you wished for. Oh shit. Today's the first time that I am leaving the palace on a day off. Usually I choose to stay inside. Whereas there are other servants always leaving to go home. I never see any reason to leave since this has always been my home. And the Martian has never been home. Besides, it is not if I want to return. Not after that conversation we shared last time. Thus, I have spent most of the days asking questions about Mother's reign, inquiring wherein and where I can. The opinions do not surprise me. I was so scared of her. One wrong move and she'd thrown you into a prison. The townsfolk would always wait for her to pass by before leaving their houses. She was a tyrant. This kingdom is a better place now that she's gone. Sorry, I don't know what voice that was. There's no reason for them to lie to me. The more I hear, the more of my old life makes sense to me. I know now why the king never seemed to love Mother and why people hated her. And the reason people looked at me with such fear. However, it has been months since I've been glared at in public. If there's one good thing about this curse did for me, it is that it allowed me to travel around town without being noticed. As Viorica's shop came to view, my thoughts shifted to the reason why I had left the palace in the first place. If Rod will not tell me anything, I will have to ask Viorica. She must be related in some way to his curse. I paused outside the door to the toy shop. With a deep breath, I pushed the door open. Okay, moment of truth! Welcome! The moment she sees me, her expression becomes confused. Oh, you were the princess's maid, Lucette, wasn't it? I nodded her. You never come in here alone before. What can I help you with? I wanted to ask you something. It's about Prince Rod. Prince Rod? Did something happen to him? Is he okay? He's fine. She sighs with a relief. Then what is it you would like to ask? I just wanted to know if you knew anything about Prince Rod's sudden muteness. Viorica stares at me for a few moments before shaking her head. I only know that it happened soon after I met my fiancé, Daisaman. Oh, maybe it has to do with the fiancé, not her! What reason do you have for asking? Well, I try to think of a plausible explanation for this, but I mainly consider Emmeline. Viorica is Emmeline's best friend. Surely she would be willing to help if she knew that I was doing this for Emmeline. Prince Rod has been very quiet recently. Princess Emmeline has been worried sick about him, but he refuses to say anything even to her. I have been trying to gather information that might help discerning the cause. I stare at her expectantly, hoping that my gaze holds nothing but determination. Finally, Viorica smiles. She's lucky to have a dedicated friend like you. I'm still not accustomed to the fact that Emmeline considers me a friend. Before she became the princess, I was the first confidant. We were like sisters. But now she's living in the castle and we no longer have the luxury of spending so much time together. I worry about her constantly. Even around me, Em always tended to keep her problems to herself at first. She doesn't like to be bothered with other people with them. It's hard not to agree. The way that Emmeline was always smiling before, I never thought she had any problem in real life. It was only recently that I discovered she was hiding all of her loneliness and pain behind a smile. It's a relief that she befriended someone who cares so much about her. I don't know if I can be that much help, but I'll tell you what I know if it will help Emmeline. To start with, I'm not exactly sure how everything changed, but it all happened so suddenly. All I know is that after the night I met Daisaman, our relationship changed. At first, he still smiled, but recently, he's been avoiding me. What happened between the two of you that night you met your fiancé? Nothing. Rod and I did not meet only that day. Prince Rod wasn't there? No, but soon after what happened that night, Rod grew distant. What happened? It was a stormy night and I was heading back home. I took the route by the riverbank because I knew it was the shortest route. It was foolish of me. The road was slippery and full of mud. I lost my footing and fell into water. The waves were strong and I was certain I was going to drown. Oh! I don't remember what happened in the darkness of the water, only that I was woken up and my head was in Dysomon's lap. That was the first time we met, but not the last. He carried me home and he came by every day as I was recovering. And then he came to visit even after I recovered. Oh shit! Did she almost die? Or she was dying, and Dysomon's a witch, and Rod asked Dysomon to save her. So he gave up his voice so that she could be alive. Is that what happened? I'm assuming that's what happened. I tried not to get my hopes up too much because what could this nobleman see in me, a mere commoner? But I still ended up falling in love with him. You have no idea how happy I was when he said he loved me too. It was a dream come true. Of course, every girl's dream of marrying a prince. It was in all of the fairy tales that I read as a child. None of that was related to Rod. How does this relate to his curse? You said your relationship with Prince Rod changed after that night. What happened? Viorica sighs. I told Em and Rod about Dysomon soon after the incident. Em was happy that the two of us had fallen in love, but Rod didn't say much of anything. That's when I noticed he started growing distant, and when I realized that he had also lost his voice. But I figured that her voice fades, but I know that she's referring to the curse. So Rod lost his voice shortly after Viorica met Dysomon. The mermaid's curse must have something to do with the tale. The little mermaid traded her voice for legs so that she could be with her prince. But that night, the only person who found their prince charming was Viorica. Rod's curse must have something to do with Dysomon and Viorica. He became distant after her finding out about Dysomon. Why? Then there's still the fact that he still spoke to Viorica even when he was distant. It was only when he found out about their wedding that he became so cold. I frowned and tried to organize my thoughts. How did it get to be this late? I'm so sorry, Lucette, but I have to close the shop now. Sorry for the story. I know it's nothing to do with Rod, but it was after the incident that he began to act strangely. I do not think I was much help, but I shake my head. You told me what you could. Viorica walks to the door, opening it so that both of us can step out onto the street together. I really hope that you're able to help Emmeline and Rod. I hope so too. Did you see Ophelia the other day? I catch a sight of two noblewomen sitting on the bench together not too far away in the toy shop. They're referring to Ophelia without her title. How disrespectful. Who would have thought the peasant like her could almost look like royalty? But her dress! As the queen, she ought to be wearing silks rather than satin. I do not know why, but I bristle at their comments. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but the fact that they are speaking so bluntly in public means that they have little worry of being overheard. I'm still not sure what the king saw in her. Well, you know what they say about ladies lacking natural beauty. Her talents must lie other, more persuasive areas. Oh god, they're implying that the queen slept with the king or something like that. She must be very persuasive. Indeed, if the king saw nothing worthwhile to marry her. As the two women laugh, I feel something hot begin to burn in my stomach. Viorica takes a sharp breath beside me. Since I became a maid in the palace, Ophelia has been nothing but kind to me, a mere servant. She has all the right to flaunt her status and title, yet she remains humble. I now know this is why everyone at the palace loves her. Common women like her can only keep a man's attention for so long. I start to walk towards him without thinking. Oh shit! Lucette, I wouldn't! You have no right to say those things about the queen. The two women, clearly surprised at my interruption, but both of them glare at me. And you have no right to eavesdrop on us. Eavesdropping, anyone could have heard you. Their mouths fall open. One of the women looks to me for a long time, then sneers suddenly, as if something has occurred to her. I thought you looked familiar. You're the crown princess' personal maid. I see you always following her around when she's in town. This is none of your business, girl. Why do you care so much about our opinions? Perhaps it's because our girl idolizes the queen, thinks she might also go from rag to riches. What? Oh, you have a point. They both stand and advance towards me. Do you want the prince for yourself, girl? If a commoner can become a queen, it's not too difficult to imagine yourself as the princess, isn't it? How foolish. You're better off daydreaming smaller dreams, girl. They laugh, and the irritation in my chest blazes into full anger. Is this what Ophelia has been dealing with for the past year? she's been treated so cruelly when she's done nothing but love the king. And I also ridiculed her just like this. I forced myself to look at the cruel woman as I moved my hand to the pendant hanging around my neck. I was just as cruel as them. I barely feel Viorica's hands as she resists against my shoulder. Lucette, let it go. Her Majesty wouldn't want you to do this. But I cannot just let these two women talk about Ophelia like this. I pull away from Viorica and stand firm. The queen has a good heart. She is far more noble than either of you could ever hope to be. I think back on the times I was cruel to her. Ophelia could have just easily reprimanded my behavior. She has that right as my stepmother, yet she has been nothing but kind to me. Ophelia has never got angry with me, even despite my treatment towards her and her family. She has always treated others with kindness, even when they are so cruel to her. Judging from the bitterness of your accusations, it seems like you are jealous of her. How pathetic. The other woman marches towards me. My free hand instantly moves to hold her hand just before her palm reaches my cheek. Oh shit! I will not tolerate any insults towards a queen. A soft light emanates from the pendant and I can only stare at it in shock. Oh hey! Yay! I got another good deed? By defending Ophelia, the woman snatches her hand away. How dare a peasant let you talk to us that way? Have you no manners? I could ask you the same. What happened to yours? Shit! Bird! Get wrecked, bitch! How dare you? Don't you know who we are, girl? I will see that you will pay for this. Our words have far more weight than yours will ever be. I will go to the king myself and tell him about how rude you were. I can pass on the message myself. Oh, shit. I turn to see Rod walking towards us, his expression cold. The two noblemen hastily curtsy. Your Highness! The noblewoman turned pale as Rod's eyes fall on them. Actually, we have an important dinner engagement. Yes, we do! The two noblewomen curtsy before quickly departing. What are you doing here without your guard? What trouble have you gotten yourself into? Tell him? Those women were just insulting the queen. I thought a lecture was in order. Oh, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. What? I narrow my eyes at him. Something like this cannot be helped. Bad rumors are unavoidable. Rod looked away, his expression suddenly pained. This wouldn't have happened if I hadn't wished for. Rod never finished his sentence. He cleared his throat before looking at us again. What was he gonna say? What? Oh, I get it now! Oh my god! He wished to be a prince! Right? So that Viorica could fall in love with him because she wanted to fall in love with a prince, right? Oh shit! Drama! We shouldn't keep you from returning to home, Viorica. I'll take Lucette back to the palace. Viorica's eyes narrow as she looks ready to say something, but Rod has already reached out for my hand, pulling me along behind him. Oh my god, I get it now! Oh, that's sad. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the episode here. Holy shit. I totally understand Rod now. Why he's so angry with Viorica. Oh my god, he wanted to be a prince so that he could get her. I totally get it. Anyway, that was really interesting. Also, that I'm very happy that Lucette got her second good deed by being nice to her stepmother. If you guys enjoyed this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the companions. Also, if you would like to help support the channel, there is a link to my Patreon page. If you would check it out, I'd really appreciate it. You get early access to videos for Patreon only, the Discord server, come talk to me and other companions, and a bunch of other cool stuff. Or if you would like to check out my store, I would also appreciate that as well. There's a link in the description. Alright, so this is getting really interesting. And, you know, aside from the flirting part that's making me uncomfortable, Rod's story I find is really interesting regarding his curse, since he has my favorite fairy tale, which is A Little Mermaid. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys thought. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Powerful, feisty, smart. She's like the human version of my
What the fuck, Sarah? Oh my god, I'm dead. Yeah, I didn't want to. Maybe next time you invite 2 people over, don't start fucking one of them. Oh, bye. Oh no!